Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Sevens in Cape Town. This one, a semi-final. Ireland taking on Argentina. This is an unpredictable game, mainly because not many people predicted them to make it this far in the competition. But Argentina, Los Pumas, always looking dangerous throughout their group stage fixtures. The Irish beating New Zealand for the first time ever in a game of sevens to get to this point in the quarterfinals. And now, moving on to the semis to face up against a tough Los Pumas side. In the starting lineup for Argentina is Mari, Luciano Gonzalez, Germain Schultz, Marcos Maneta, Palandini, Azutsuk, and also Santiago Alvarez. In the starting lineup for the Irish, Niall Comerford, Zach Ward, Mark Roach, Terry Kennedy, Sean Cribben, Harry McNulty, and Jordan Conroy. So, there is a lot on the line. The winner of this contest will go on to the Cape Town Sevens final to perhaps become crowned as the champions. The other side, they will still have a third place playoff game just around the corner up against the loser of the match between Fiji and Australia. Of course, the winner of that game will go on to face the winner of the semi-final. Come on, Archie, do it. Says Elon and Koi Big. Says Joseph and the chat as well. But do let me know your score predictions, ladies and gentlemen, for who you think will be able to walk away with this victory. Speaking of victories, the New Zealand women's side just losing their contest up against the French, so it means that France versus Australia will be the final, and New Zealand will be playing off for third place up against the USA. Both teams have been hungry for this. Says Sean Leeson, did you watch the women's semi-final between France and New Zealand? What a semi-final it was for France. Says Marnus, it certainly was. And congrats, French girls, says Blues Nate there as well. They are just showing some of those results that we've had throughout the semi-finals. Of course, Ireland getting themselves the win over New Zealand for the first time ever in a sevens fixture for the men out of the 11 times that the two sides did meet. We've got RG 28, Ireland 0, and 21-19 in favour of the Irish, says Sean Lees for his prediction. But yeah, Ireland looking very clinical from their last game. Argentina having some good moments too in their game up against the Canadians. They were never really tested in that contest. Now, sometimes that's a good thing in sevens. Other times that can be a little bit of your downfall if you haven't fully had to commit to that game prior. Maybe that means you got left quite a bit in the gas tank for this contest, but they're just showing Terry Kennedy. He has been on a tear throughout this competition, leading in the try scorer tally alongside Marcos Maneta, two men who are going head-to-head for this matchup. But AJ Jacobs will be in charge of this contest. South African local, unfortunately, will be the only man who is out on the field for a semi-final from South Africa. And Vamos Argies, Vamos Kiwi Lads, says Blues Nate there as well. But I should mention South Africa still not done for the day. They have got their game up against New Zealand. That will be taking place a little bit later on at around that 3:50 a.m. New Zealand time. But now this game underway, ladies and gents. Big crowd, still a decent crowd in attendance. I believe a lot of people sticking around to watch that New Zealand versus South Africa game as well as the final. Quite a few have left though, I believe, ever since the Blitzboks did lose their game. But hopefully a lot do stick around for the rest of the competition. But Jordan Conroy currently has the ball in hand, trying to wrestle through a couple of the strong Argentine tackles, and that has been somewhere that they've really been strong throughout this Cape Town Sevens competition, being able to stop the opposition from breaking through. Although speaking of breaking through, Ireland have already done so. Although Marcos Maneta able to drag him down only 5 metres out from the try line. Terry Kennedy passes it straight to Luciano Gonzalez. And this is the kind of back and forth action that we expected from this contest. Mark Roach trying to shove off Luciano Gonzalez. Germain Schultz having to step back around Harry McNulty and taken down by Jordan Conroy. But this game already at an absolutely frantic pace. Argentina firing it off to the right-hand side on the halfway line. Alvarez has the man on his outside and Azutsuk doesn't find him. McNulty says Blues Nate back across here for the Argentines in the middle, straight through the gap. Mari will go. And that is the first try of the contest for Argentina. Santiago Mari able to score it for Los Pumas. So let's go, says Mikhail in the chat as well. And yes, second try of the Sevens for this man, Santiago Mari. Just opened up the gap. Mark Roach wrong-footed because he knew he had men on the outside that he had to try and cover. It became about a 3-on-1. And because of it, Argentina are able to score, and they do start this match very well. Now, that's the thing. Yes, you can be very strong on attack, but it's your defence that wins your games. And we have just seen that for Argentina. The fact that they were able to stop a full field Ireland try from happening to then go the full length of the field themselves and score the try is just a huge credit to their defensive ability. And Argentina have won the past 2 and 4 of the past 5 matches against Ireland. So they've actually got a pretty good record. But the Irish, they've already proven in Cape Town that they are capable of causing upsets. We're currently 7-0 with that kick. Successfully going over. It will be Argentina's line out here. Palandini now ready to go to throw this ball into the next semi-final that is taking place, ladies and gentlemen. It will be Fiji in their contest going head-to-head with none other than the Australians. And I feel like that will be quite an intriguing matchup as well. See who gets the better of that one. It's going to be thrown in deep. Nicely taken to the front by Argentina. Germain Schultz now flat pass in there for Argentina. Germain Schultz again playing halfback. Gets it across to Alvarez. Big fend from Luciano Gonzalez. He's a ball of muscle when he gets attacking. Now Germain Schultz. Beautiful pass. Palandini. Ball on the outside. Mari will have his second. He is in the right place, right time. 2 times in a row. Now, easy for Argentina at the moment. This Irish defence is definitely not living up to the standard of what they did have in their last contest up against New Zealand. I talked about it earlier on about maybe Argentina would have more left in the gas tank from having an easier quarter-final fixture. Did Ireland, what's the best, I was going to say a saying, but it sounds a bit dodgy, but did Ireland blow their load playing New Zealand rather than having some loads stored up for this game? I'll find a better analogy and I'll use it soon, but for now that's what we'll go with. Did they use up all their energy in their last game? That's a better way of saying it. And what a start for Argentina against a dangerous Irish side. Says Marnus, yeah, very good start, sitting 12 points to 0, currently ahead after only the 4 minutes. It's going to be kicked deep. Nicely claimed by Niall Comerford. And the Irish are not out of this contest yet, but this is something that they didn't experience in that game up against New Zealand, having their backs against the wall inside of their own half, trying to find their way forward. And you wonder how different this game could have been if that first try that they attempted to score, if they had scored it, perhaps the momentum would still be flowing in favour of Ireland. But the beauty of Sevens is one little decision can change a game completely. Jordan Conroy spinning out of the tackle attempt of Azatsuk. A bit of a shoulder injury after the last contest, but does look like he's come right. Ireland will win, says Tony there. Now passed down wide. Mark Roach still has the man with him. Decides to run into his own teammate, though, in that scenario. Still going to be available for the Irish. Nice wide cut out pass to Conroy again. Luciano Gonzalez misses the tackle. I mentioned how one moment can change a game, and that one's changed it in favour of the Irish as Conroy runs in the try. And I hope Argentina wins, says RLP. Now, Ireland back into the contest like they've said about that shoulder injury of Conroy, but luckily he didn't really need his shoulder for pushing through that challenge. Luciano Gonzalez just beat him for pace on the outside, maybe committed to the tackle a tad too early and did fall off. Realises afterwards that it means that he's going all the way to the try line. Making the score 12 points to 5. This game is far from over, ladies and gentlemen. We've still got the second half just around the corner, but first 90 seconds remain. And in the first half, that kick has missed away to the left-hand side for Mark Roach, so leaving a score margin of 7 between these two sides. All-time tries for Ireland. Conroy now moves up to 110. So continuing on his try score and prowess. Mark Roach now to kick this one off for the Irish. 60 seconds left on the clock now after that kick. And the delay, it's nicely taken by Santiago Alvarez. It's put down by Luciano Gonzalez. Argentina vamos, says Marco there. Nice run forward from Germain Schultz. Bit of pressure coming on in the breakdown from the Irish defence, but it does stay in favour of Argentina. Alvarez goes on to Luciano Gonzalez. A little bit of a game of fingertips there, and he's breaking through tackles. Terry Kennedy tries to drag him down, and he does eventually manage to get him to the turf. They have got numbers here. Marcos Manera pass on the outside to Azad Suk, and he goes between the sticks. He said he hadn't scored it yet. He has made sure that that one's gone down. Vamos Marco, says RLP, and Azad Suk scoring it between the posts now. Great step from Marcos Maneta. Sold Mark Roach the wrong way. Oh, yeah, we got there bien, says LP. Great offload to Azad Suk. Got some heavy strapping on that right knee, but luckily is all right to continue. And that is going to be a halftime now, ladies and gentlemen. The score 12, or in fact 19 points to 5 now in favour of Los Pumas. They've got a good lead, but they do need to keep that mentality going forward. They need to keep their foot on the gas. They are 1/2 away from making the final. But the Irish, can they fire back like they did in their game up against Fiji? They were down by 29 points. They got 24 points of their own. First half up against New Zealand, I believe they got 4 tries. Yeah, they're just too calm in their knockout game compared to Ireland, says Elon. And there is, and that's maybe down to the fact that Argentina have been here so often. Over the last 12 months or so, they've found themselves in a lot of playoff games up against top contenders, and they're slowly getting more used to that pressure. They've got the same players a majority of the time. I think the only real change that they've got in this game compared to what they had last time they were in a playoff game was probably Mare, but then coming off the bench, they have still got a few other options of men who have been there before and are ready for that challenge once again. Ireland, though, few familiar faces, the likes of Mark Roach, Terry Kennedy, Harry McNulty, Jordan Conroy. Those men are the ones who will have to step up in the second half, try and get the momentum back in favour of Ireland. They haven't got a long time, but they'll certainly make it an entertaining one. They've got 14 points that they need to make up. They get that. Then we go to golden point. If any other points are scored, then of course the side will get themselves the win. The next game, Fiji versus Australia, is not too far away at all, ladies and gentlemen. That will be determining who the other side making it through to the final is. We've also got New Zealand versus South Africa. That is around the corner. We are covering that game on the channel. We're not sure whether we're doing the Champions Cup game as of yet. We are hoping to, but we will see how the Sevens all ends up, I guess, developing throughout the matches. Now 14 points in the lead at the moment for Argentina. There's a lady on stilts on the sideline. He's kicked that one from in front of the halfway line. That was actually policed in one of the other games that we witnessed, but it's only been once that they've actually pulled a player up on that throughout the Cape Town Sevens. Ballandini manages to get a pass away to Luciano Gonzalez, and already Argentina find themselves on attack again early on in the second 7 minutes. Penalty goes their way with the player not rolling out of the breakdown. That was Terry Kennedy who was stuck in there. And yep, Ireland just aren't quite there, but improving, so not all bad. Says Elon, yeah, they'll be very happy to have made it through to the semi-final. That doesn't look good for Luciano Gonzalez, though. Some sort of knee injury or leg injury on that right-hand side. They do not want to lose him before the final, that is for sure. The exciting part is it would either be up against Australia or Fiji. Now, we've already seen Argentina play Fiji in this competition. That was actually a win to the Fijians. Australia-Argentina is a game that we haven't actually got to see for a little while. Vamos Pumas, says Ruben. And there's now Luciano Gonzalez, first receiver. And even though he's got that sore knee, he's still going to try and drive through 3 or 4 extra tackles. Adunsuk now. Inside ball. Referee Glenn Jacobs, or AJ Jacobs, sorry, does extremely well to duck under there. Gonzalez is limping. I don't think they need to take the risk of leaving him out there on the field. Yes, it is do or die here for Los Pumas, but you do not want to risk one of your best players not being able to play in the final. Back across to the left-hand side, Alvarez. They've got Luciano Gonzalez, but they don't use him. Alvarez with a brilliant step on the inside. And it is another try for the Argentines. I don't know if Ireland are Olympics, says Elon. I think they were ranked 5th, so I think they do automatically qualify, if I'm correct. A great step from Alvarez. Does Ireland still have a chance of getting back into this game? I would say now it's probably going to be a lot more tricky because they will be down by 3 converted tries. It means that the most likely outcome for Ireland here, if they are to win this game, they would definitely need to score 3 converted tries and then win it in golden point time. I don't believe there's enough time for them to score 4. We have got their yawn out of bed, 4 p.m. A coffee and a dose of Hamish to wake up, says Peter Wild. And there as well. But welcome in, mate. I hope you are doing extremely well. You've been enjoying some of the Sevens action, although I think it's terrible time zone for you, isn't it? Overall for these Sevens games. Now it's going to be nicely kicked high by Argentina, who have got themselves a 26 points to 5 lead. They've swatted that ball back onto their side. Marcos Manera, they've said that the ball's gone backwards, but it is picked up by Ireland. Okay, first knock on was by Ireland, they've said. So it is now going to be Argentina's scrum feed. AJ Jacobs calls time off. I believe there are going to be some subs that are about to be made. Now, for me, this is when Luciano Gonzalez needs to go off the field. You do not want to risk that injury. I wouldn't be surprised if they've already taken him off. Just looking through at that side and who is out there currently. I think they've brought Agustin Fraha on for him. So that's probably a good move. Don't want to risk an injury just before what could be one of the most important finals that Argentina will have in some time. Ireland almost able to steal that scrum. Yes, they do, I believe, or at least it was a knock-on from Argentina. So now scrum feed will go the way of the Irish. What a crazy tournament in Cape Town. What a weirdo event. Says Elon, it's certainly broken the chain. In terms of past events, normally the favourites are the ones who do very well. Dubai was a perfect example of that. But Cape Town, it threw a bit of a spanner in the works because South Africa's already gone. New Zealand's already gone. The defending champion Samoa, they finished 12th, I think, out of all the teams. So quite a strange event, but very entertaining because you never know who's going to make their way through. Quick hands there from Ireland. Jordan Conroy now in possession, looking to run towards the corner here. Looks like he's going to be taken down in a beautiful tackle attempted by Argentina. Another penalty going against them. That is for offside. Amish, you're doing a really good job of staying awake all night recently. Don't know how you do it. If I had to do what you do now overnight, would have fallen asleep, says Marnus. I'll be honest, sleep would be very nice at some stage, but we've still got another 4.5 hours or so of being awake for the Sevens, and then we will be more than likely heading to bed. Now, Comerford got the ball back for Ireland. They still have time here. 3 tries in 3 minutes, all converted, will get them into golden point. But for now, it looks like Los Pumas are going to be making their way to the final, and they have just won another penalty, so they will either go for the scrum or the line out. Either way, it will use up around 30 seconds. The big surprise is Ireland making it this far. Australia should win, says Elon. Now Tobias Wade. Oh, they're going to go for the scrum here. Uses up a little bit more time on the clock now, only 2 minutes remaining. Next game that is taking place, it is going to be between Fiji and Australia. We are starting that coverage straight after this game, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're also going to be back for the final for Argentina's Rugby Sevens campaign in Cape Town. So Jordan Conroy, another player that is being taken off for the Irish. Yeah, the commentators just said Ireland came from behind to win their quarterfinal against New Zealand. That is not correct. They were up by about 21 points, and then they never really got behind. But I think the example he's trying to say is teams can come from behind, even if that didn't happen. And the quarterfinal game is done for Ireland now. What do you think, Hamish? Yeah, I think there's too little time left. 90 seconds remaining. Ireland have got the ball back now, though. And theoretically, they just need to score those 2 tries before the full-time siren, and then they'll get one last kickoff attempt. Now around this side, nice bit of stepping from Sean Cribben. We need to change those commentators with Hamish, says Macau, an Irish commentator pissed, says Elon. It's one of those ones that this just hasn't been the performance a lot of people expected. Beautiful break of the line, though, and this will be a try for Ireland. This will help them get back into the contest that a little bit more. There is still time on the clock. If Ireland can score another quick-fire try, it's beautifully done by Dardis. Looks like he's pretty much out on his feet. In fact, it's Hugo Lennox, my apologies, in the morning. Just saying hello, sad to see my country lose, says Yvonne there. Now 40 seconds remaining. Still time on the clock. They need a try, and they need it right now, and then they'll have just enough time to be able to have one last crack at Los Pumas. More than likely for Argentina, though, if they get this ball, they will look to close out the last 30 seconds or so. It's going to be kicked high. Ireland looking to claim that one, and they've done just that. Good low tackle made. Argentina getting in the breakdown. That is very strategic because that will use up a few extra seconds on the clock. Now the Irish trying to break through with Jack Kelly. Have they just left this a little too late, though? 8 seconds remaining, and they need this conversion. He's going to score it. Is it too late? He scored it with 1 second left on the clock. I don't think they'll be able to go back and have one last crack here. We know in one of the other games there wasn't time left. Do they have enough time? They just want to check, says AJ Jacobs. They might still have a chance of drawing this contest here, Ireland. No, they do not. That is the full-time siren, and that will be the end of the contest. The Argentines have won it, 26 points to 19, and they will advance to the final to take on the winner of Fiji versus Australia. But I do thank you all very much for tuning in. We will be back for that next live stream right now, so be sure to pop on over, and I will see you all for the next one.